What's up, everybody? Welcome back, ballers, to another episode of Eye to Eye with AJ, Rambo, and KODI. If the community could please just give us a quick little thumbs up, just so we know that the sound is good. Rambo, Codes, can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
Can hear you as well.
Great. Yeah, Jared says, look forward to this night every week, as do I. Hello, Maggie. Hello, Coffee Girl. The usual suspects are here again. Latest in the news, I'm sure most of you guys at this point have heard now about the death of Ozzy Osbourne. I actually caught wind of that watching KODI's live stream earlier today. I was at the doctor's office, and to spare some time, I'm watching KODI do his thing with Derek, and sure enough, someone in the chat dropped that news, and I pulled it up, and it was less than 5 minutes fresh. So I have some things prepared to go over that, but since it's so new, right, sometimes we need a little more time to digest. But KODI, Rambo, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm great. Thank you.
Doing good, and hope everyone else is well out there and excited for the show.
Awesome. Yeah, so hey, let's get started, knock out a couple intros. Rambo, if you wouldn't mind letting the audience know, for those who aren't familiar with your work, always doubtful, but please let the audience know where they can find your work and where they can help support you.
Thank you. My work is patreon.com/thetruthcodes. Just one tier, $5 a month. You can have access to the Discord code breaker community and share with the community who have a lot of brilliant contributions. So, it's not just my decodes. There are a lot of great decodes put up on the Discord. And I'm also on Instagram, The Truth Codes on Instagram.
Beautiful. Yeah, the link is right here on the screen.
Thank you.
And I also have those links in the description of the video as well. So please, you guys, for $5 a month, with the stuff that Rambo touches on, the time he puts into his research, it's absolutely mind-blowing. It's the best $5 a month you'll ever spend. So
thank you.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure, Rambo. Thank you for joining as always. And KODI, same thing. Please let the audience know where those who aren't familiar with you and your work, where they can find you and where they can support you.
Yeah, so thanks again to you, AJ and Rambo, and thanks to everyone who's watching. You guys can find me on YouTube at Decoding with KODI, as on the screen there. And also, I have an Instagram under also Decoding with KODI, and a X or Twitter account also under Decoding with KODI. And then Buy Me a Coffee /Decoding with KODI is where you can support the channel if you'd like. So that's how you can find me.
Beautiful. Well, it's a pleasure as always. Marty says salute, AJ, KODI, and Rambo. Glad to have you here, Marty. For those that aren't familiar with me, my name is AJ. I go by Balll Don't Lie with 3 L's in Ball. I do have a Patreon and a Winnable page for those that are interested in the decoding approach when it comes to predicting sports. It is never something to help promote the world of gambling, but I know that there's a lot of people out there that do appreciate the research. So I also have 10 books now at this point. Most of them are small mini books. You guys can either purchase them to help support me on Patreon. Don't need to be a subscriber. Or you can send me an email at wordplaybook with 3 O's in book, and I will send you all of the books for free. I don't do any of that for money. I do it to get the word out, and I always appreciate those that are interested. And before we dive in, I also have a Discord that I created as well called Cypher's Circle with Call Me Kinfolk and Hitalic Sports, and it's completely free. So we really just wanted to bring a community for people that not only are just into ciphering or decoding, but just touching on as many topics as possible: conspiracy, politics, sports, science, you name it. It's all out there. So I included that link as well. John says, time for synergy with AJ, Rambo, and KODI. Yes, sir. Hello, Joseph. Good to see you. Joseph says, if y'all talk about Ozzy, I might have some stuff to add. Well, Joseph, I'm going to kick things off talking about that latest in the news. I know the last 2 days or so, the biggest news has been really about the death of Malcolm Warner, Mr. Theo Huxtable from The Cosby Show. But since this news broke about Ozzy on the same day as our weekly stream, I thought it would be best to take a little deeper dive into it. So before we get started, was there anything else, KODI or Rambo, you guys would like to add?
Not really much at the moment. I mean, once we get into the Ozzy thing and I'll have some things to add. I mean, as you go through, I think then I'll just flow with it.
Yeah, I actually this Ozzy thing just came out of left field. I had a video that I just uploaded. I just have a 3-minute intro I just wanted to present, which is on the themes we've been talking about, the water theme and the flooding. But I can see nothing really stays on the news for long, does it? Like the flooding thing now is huge celebrity dies, but I was still addressing those issues and some of the things connected to that, the flooding and the water theme. And I just put out a video. It's 38 minutes long, but it's had a 3-minute intro that I wanted to at least just put out there.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Would you like to start with that, or would you like for me to maybe hit what I found today about Ozzy's death or reported death in alignment with Satanism? That's pretty much what it's all about.
You can get mine out of the way because it looks like this Ozzy topic, we already have somebody in the chat who wants to contribute to it. So
perfect.
Again, this came out of left field for me. So yeah, I'll do a 3-minute promo on my latest video.
Perfect. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm just looking to see your request to screen share, right. And I'll let you drive.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, screen share.
Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate it. And 1,000 subs. I mean, big accomplishment. I'm very happy about that. It means a lot. I couldn't do it without people like you, Joseph, and obviously Rambo, KODI. I mean, you guys have been a phenomenal support to help bring more people to my channel. And hopefully at the end of the day, we're trying to build everybody's channels up. So I appreciate that, Joseph. Thank you. Okay, Rambo, I see your request. Let's see. I gotta remove my screen. Hold on. There we go. All right, Rambo, take it away, my friend.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm considered a 33-degree master mason. First, you have men and women that make boats. And they make these boats to sail. So they create what is called maritime law, the law of the sea. There's a gentleman named Jason Whitley, as well as Jordan Maxwell, that speaks, actually Jordan Maxwell speaks extensively on this, that in an ancient sense, those who made ships would put spiritual knowledge into the concept of shipbuilding. So you would get God as a ship. God's inner would be the hull. The mind is the sails. And we are on the stage of life, sailing. Sort of like an old Freemason or Masonic poem is row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. That's the secret if you can comprehend what I just said.
Yeah, that's it. That's my promo.
So,
yeah,
Rambo, that once again, amazing work as always. I
thank
mean,
you.
I sound like a broken record at this point, but if you don't mind me asking, who was that gentleman at the beginning?
Oh, the one talking?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the rapper KRS-One.
KRS-One. Yeah, I saw that really quickly at the beginning, but I'm not really that in tune with the rap community or its
Yeah, I
history.
think in the 90s, the 90s was his heyday, but he's still a big figure in the community because KRS-One is he's seen as an exception to most of hip hop because he's seen as somebody with substance, somebody who speaks to power. So he's seen as kind of against the system, but so he was addressing like you're against the system, but yeah, he's a leader of hip hop. Yeah, he's one of when you think of the all-time greats in hip hop, and for him a lot it's because of the substance. Like he does a lot of kind of activism type message, social activism. He's addressing police brutality famously, but he was asked like, you also seem to be in the club with all the imagery and stuff that you use. So that's what he was addressing. But he's one of the biggest figure. Like if there's a hip hop Hall of Fame, he'd be one of the top ones there. He's KRS-One. This is his name.
I must sound really stupid by asking that question, I guess. I had no idea how big he was.
Yeah. He's a huge figure. I guess he doesn't have the like he hasn't sold as many records as like DMX, and sometimes that actually helps your image if you are trying to portray yourself as somebody who's outside the system, who challenges the system. Yeah. Sometimes because then you can say, yeah, you see, I mean, I would have sold like multi platinum records if type of thing. So sometimes that actually does help his image if he doesn't have as much commercial success as some of the other rappers, because his angle is that he's against the system, has more substance type thing. But yeah, that's who that was. But remember, we were talking about the money metaphor, a metaphor for money, and how I gave a shout out to Jordan Maxwell. I think we were on Donut. I said, yeah, I found that out from Jordan Maxwell. But yeah, he actually does mention Jordan Maxwell in that context of the water, how it ties into money and maritime law. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And you had a whole blip in, I believe, when you still had your YouTube channel, which I also showed in one of our last live streams. I literally plagiarized your work, but I shouted you out, which was, regurgitated from Jordan Maxwell. And Donut even told us before our live stream that I didn't know this. I got to go on Rumble and look it up. But Donut did actually 2 interviews with Jordan Maxwell, which I had no idea before he exited stage right, which is pretty impressive. I mean, Jordan Maxwell is he brings brilliant work.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I regurgitated Jordan Maxwell. I learned about the metaphor, and that's what influenced. I didn't repeat what Jordan Maxwell said, but he pointed out the money's a water's a metaphor for money, and that part of it is what I learned from him.
So let me ask you this, Rambo, really quick. So that was a preview, right? And you said that there's it's like a 38-minute video you're about to roll out.
It's already out there. The 38-minute video is already out there uploaded to Patreon.
You uploaded that earlier today, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But once again, you guys think about that. A 38-minute video. And by the way, Rambo doesn't post once a month. I mean, for $5 a month, you're going to get something substantial enough, close to 40 minutes of content. And that's just a 3-minute little blip. So Rambo, if you don't mind, would you mind just elaborating a little bit more about what the rest of the video touches on?
So the title of the video is H2O. And I've been pointing out the water metaphors and what was the big news. I mean, Ozzy dying has usurped that, was the flooding in Texas, in central Texas. And so I tie that in, which is a major story, and the symbolism behind that. And as we've talked about, one of the main symbols in the flooding in Texas was the heart symbol. And they focused primarily on females. It was an all-girls Camp Mystic, which has been the face of the tragedy. And also think of the name Jordan Maxwell, the Jordan River. That's the name of a river. So yeah, so it's the metaphor. So the metaphor of the heart and water is emotion. I communicated with you over Instagram when you showed Kobe Bryant's appearance with his wife Vanessa after I think he was charged with the assault. I know you're not allowed to say certain things on YouTube, but what Kobe Bryant was accused of back in the day. You had that clip, and I pointed out how he had a bottle of water on the stick with the brand name facing out, and I compared that to Will Smith's apology, quote unquote, to Chris Rock for the slap, which took a whole year to apologize. A year later, I mean, how sincere can an apology be a year later? But so he got high ratings for that. I think it was over social media, but it was a live apology. People waited for a year. The ratings were really high for Will Smith, and he had a little water carton. What he was doing was advertising his son's flavored water company in an apology to exploit the high ratings. But you remember I talked about that, the similarity of having water there, because water represents emotion, as does the heart. There's that symbolism, and it ties into several things in my video. So I'm kind of like Cody. So most people aren't into WWE. Cody does know WWE, and one of the things he tries to show people is like the events that happen there and the symbolism that go into WWE apply. They're attached to everything: the news, what's going on, and politics, and the other sports, is everything. So even if you're not a WWE fan, you can still appreciate his decodes because he shows how relevant the themes are there. And I'm the same way with, I guess, Premier League soccer in England. It's the most high profile soccer, which is the most popular sport in the world, and it's being flooded with American owners. I mean, flooded. I didn't intend the pun there. So there's a lot of intersection between ownership in the Premier League and ownership of American pro sports. So I kind of have to show, okay, I know hardly anyone's going to be into that league, but I do show how it is relevant. And so what recently happened there in preseason now is one of their top teams, their 5th place team, Newcastle. I showed them in the beginning, the city of Newcastle has a history of shipbuilding. And you saw how KRS-One, who says he's a 33rd degree master mason, emphasized shipbuilding. Well, the city in England most associated with shipbuilding is Newcastle. So the members of Newcastle United, they're the 5th place team. They'll be in the European Champions League next season. They did what was a mass baptism, honestly. That's what it was. And you talk about row your boat, or how they were rowing. So I go into that. There's a lot of symbolism there. And I talk about the H2O, which everyone knows is water. And I looked at the letter H. I thought maybe there's a date hidden in there. The letter H is the 8th letter. So H2O could be 820, which would be the month August 20, August 20th. And sure enough, they have a player who was born on August 20th doing that whole baptism ritual. And he's central to it. He's not a huge star. But yeah, the video goes into that, and it goes into I talked about Total Eclipse of the Heart, the hit song, and one of my patrons talked to me about another song called Water, which is a major. It won a Grammy 2 years ago, and yeah, it ties into that as well. And you saw Deadpool. There's a reference to Deadpool, the movie.
Yeah, him doing the heart symbol. When I saw that at the beginning, I was like, oh.
Exactly. I think of it. Deadpool. Pool is water. Water is emotion. The heart is emotion. And yes, it is. I thought of you when I saw that clip. You've been emphasizing the love thing, and so Deadpool is part of it. In fact, I show a clip where one of the Newcastle United players. So they all wore wetsuits, obviously, but they're all wearing wetsuits that look similar to the Deadpool's costume. So one of the players actually says Deadpool, saying, "Oh, we look like Deadpool," basically. And pool, water. And him doing the heart, so yeah, Deadpool. So I said, so it's all tied in. Popular culture is related to that as well, and so yeah, that's the gist of it. The H2O, water, and the Matrix has to do with the movie The Matrix, and the idea that the world is a simulation. And what I'm saying is, hypothetically, if the 3D realm is a matrix, I mean, is a simulation, it would be a simulation of a higher dimensional realm, and the one element you would have to simulate would be the hydrogen particle. So yeah, so I'd say that was what the video is about.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think it's funny too, because when you're talking about H2O, now I start thinking more about the Adam Sandler themes that have been going on. We have Happy Gilmore 2 coming out just in 3 days now, and KODI and I did our own live stream about Adam Sandler's Love You stand-up special last year, and all kinds of stuff. But now it makes me start thinking about Waterboy.
Oh, okay.
The movie he was in, Waterboy. And there's a whole scene where it's all about Gatorade, H2O, Gatorade.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Right? H2O. Yeah. And then who won the college basketball tournament this year? The Gators.
Yeah.
Right? And why did Chubbs get his hand bitten off by a gator? Right? So there's got to be some more things surrounded in that too. Hey, I just wanted to shout out my boy Adam the Illusion. He's been putting in some awesome comments. Wow, Adam, I need to talk to you about this. Ozzy Osbourne started in an Adam Sandler movie. I didn't know that. Let me know which one that is, because that's very interesting to me, because I've been touching on his stand-up specials, the Happy Gilmore 1 and 2. Someone else in the comments a couple weeks back. Oh, it was in Little Nicky. Oh, okay. Little Nicky about the devil, of course. Wow, God, you guys are the best in the chat. iPet Goat 2 has gators, hearts, and frozen H2O as well. Think about that. Yeah, Maggie. So Adam Sandler played the devil's son or something like that in Little Nicky. Man, you guys are. Yeah, you guys are all over the place, but in a good way. I love it. Yeah, Adam Sandler, born in '66, Church of Satan founding that same year, etc. But anyways, hey, KODI, anything else you want to add to how we opened up tonight with Rambo's preview? I believe you're on mute. That's at least what I see.
Yeah, I'm always talking. Always talking before I unmute myself. But yeah, presentation from Rambo, you know, that short clip, that was amazing. And I think, like I said, I mean, I don't have much to add to it at this point, but it definitely reminds me of stream of consciousness and streams and all kinds of different things I could say. But it is interesting that, you know, Ozzy's last show was right around that flooding, and now we have him going out. And I think basically what I have now is going into that. And I want to give a shout out to Dr. Savage in the chat. I know he's saying that no one ever asked him for an interview. Well, Dr. Savage, I'm going to have you on the channel here at some point. So definitely watch out for that. Also, if you guys don't know Dr. Savage, he's also in the chat. He's always sharing great stuff. So just wanted to give him a shout out. And then, yeah, I'm ready to get into the Ozzy stuff whenever you guys are as well.
Cool. Yeah. So I have about 10 slides or so. It'll go by rather quickly. I mean, you know, this news broke only a handful of hours ago at this point. Let me get my screen back up here. Looks like we're good to go. So for those that aren't aware, today, earlier, I want to say around, 1:30 p.m. Central Time, news broke about the death of Ozzy Osbourne, Mr. Black Sabbath, the Satan worshiper. Even though you ask ChatGPT, they're going to tell you that, you know, he's not a Satanist. And everything he did in his career was just about, you know, portraying a character. And, you know, that may or may not be the case. But either way, let's be honest. I mean, his whole career is essentially surrounded and themed around Satanism. And that's the majority of the slides I have to show you how perfect of a ritual this is, in alignment with all of those things. But as you guys know, I can't get away from the love themes. I want to shout out, I think it was Mr. S in the comments earlier. I would have to find it, but they beat me to it. Notice that one of the main headlines was that Ozzy Osbourne dies and he's surrounded by love. Of course he is. By love. And he dies at age 76. I mean, me being the basketball head that I am, and everything that I've been talking about on this channel since I started it, it all goes back to the whole Allen Iverson thing and how he's been my favorite player growing up, and love is the answer and all of that stuff. But just thinking, I was like, wow, surrounded by love, and the 76ers is home of the city of brotherly love. And Rambo was talking about Will Smith earlier. And of course, he's from Philadelphia. He gets a street named after him after the city of brotherly love wins the Super Bowl. So I'm going to get the love theme out of the way there, but I wanted to kick that off. And so into some darker things. You guys, this is sick. I mean, like the way that they do this, it's ridiculous. And the reason that we do these streams and we share this type of information is so you guys can see through what they're doing. Because I don't remember who I was talking to earlier today. They were like, what age was he? 76? I mean, he looks like he's 276. If you ask me, he looked like he was 76 when he was in his 30s. But besides the point, so what we're going to focus on, you guys, is the whole satanic alignment with the release date of this news. And the first thing we got to look at is the founder of the Church of Satan, which is Anton LaVey. And he was born on April 11th. The date written 4/11. Well, that matters because if you just measure from today's news to what would have been Ozzy Osbourne's next birthday, December 3rd, it's exactly 4 months and 11 days. So right off the bat, you're like, boom, you got that 4/11 connected directly to the founder of the Church of Satan. Now, I was never a big Ozzy fan. I mean, I know a handful of songs, but I know one of the, popular songs was Mr. Crowley. And I think a lot of people in this community are familiar with that song, at least from a gematria perspective, and, how much Aleister Crowley, how important he is essentially into the world of occultism. But when you take a look at the date of Aleister Crowley's birthday, and you measure from today's news, once again, to Aleister Crowley's next birthday, you get a span of 11 weeks and 5 days, which matters because Lucifer, just in the base ciphers, in reverse, A is 26, back to Z is 1. Lucifer equals 115. Even further, just notice the date numerology of today's news, 74 and 38, while Lucifer, in the forward ciphers, equals 74 and 38. Can't get much more airtight than that, in my opinion. Now, Ozzy Osbourne was also known for, being the lead of the band Black Sabbath. And staying in touch really quick with Aleister Crowley's date of birth, you can also say that 11 weeks and 5 days is also a span of 83 days when you include the end date, or 82 days when you don't, which is perfect either way you measure it, because in English ordinal A1, B2, C3, Black Sabbath equals 82. And here's Ozzy's reported death exactly 82 days before Aleister Crowley's birthday. You add the end date, you get 83. Well, devil equals 83, right? And speaking of devil and 83, we were talking about Anton LaVey earlier, the founder of the Church of Satan. Well, let's take a look at the founding date of the Church of Satan, which is April 30th, right? 1966. Shout out to Adam the Illusion again. Make sure to go follow and support his work. But just pointing out that essentially when you look at this, the way you measure it both ways, from Aleister Crowley's birthday forwards to running it backwards to the last founding date of the Church of Satan, you get 83 days both ways. You guys see that? So devil equals 83, right? Like I just mentioned. On top of that, 83 days is also a span of 2 months and 23 days, which is a number that, KODI's been on for a while. It's heavily associated with Skull and Bones, the Brotherhood of Death, etc. It's the reverse of 322. The number is Skull and Bones. But 223, the synagogue of Satan, equals 223 in the simplest cipher as well. And it got me thinking. I haven't had a ton of time to look at some other, date durations and research, but it got me thinking more about what we were talking about, you guys, the Wizard of Oz and things like that. And let's not forget that we're now in the time of Wicked coming out last year. And for those of you guys that don't know, Wicked is essentially an extension or a precursor to the story of the Wizard of Oz. But look at this, you guys. So the Wicked movie, they're coming out with the sequel, and we'll touch on that in a brief second. Not to mention that this woman who plays Alphaba, I don't know if you guys knew this, but she's a black homosexual woman. I'm not saying that derogatorily, but apparently she's also going to be playing Jesus in a Broadway show of Jesus Christ Superstar, I think. So, just that kind of mockery. I don't know. I mean, anyways, that's not what this presentation is about. But notice that when you measure from today's news of Ozzy Osbourne's death to the anniversary of the release date of Wicked from last year, you get 123 days, which matters because Ozzy Osbourne's birthday, December 3rd, is written 123, and number of a man equals 123, and then you run it in reverse, Ozzy Osbourne equals 123, and number of a man matters because when you think about Revelation 13:18, speaking about the number of the beast, they also say that it is a number of a man. And for those of you guys that don't know, you can also run this span. 123 days is also 17 weeks and 4 days. And sure enough, number of the beast, 174. In the simplest cipher, And lastly, what I have for you guys is looking at the sequel of Wicked that's coming out one day prior, essentially 1 year to the day, right? November 22nd last year. And then the new sequel, if you will, of Wicked, it's called Wicked for Good, is going to release later this year on November 21st. And when you measure that, sure enough, boom, you got 122 days. And I think a lot of people in the community are very well aware of the number 122 when it's how it's related to just satanic rituals. Satanist 122, satanic 122, Satanism 122, the Church of Satan founded in San Francisco, which equals 122. Rambo, shout out to you. So does San Antonio, which equals 122. But the Church of Satan was founded in San Francisco, which is located on the 122nd Meridian West. So, you guys, it's sick. I mean, absolutely mind-blowing stuff. But at the end of the day, people need to be more aware of what's taking place in front of our eyes and not crying or losing sleep over the death of Ozzy Osbourne. So that's all I have for you guys. I'll pass it back off to you folks for anything else you wanted to add.
Yeah, I'll let Cody go ahead. I already had a good chunk of time.
Yeah, so like great work again, connecting all of this with it's a great connection you made with thinking about how it's connected to Wicked, considering the Oz thing. I'm also interested to see maybe how this might be connected to Dr. Oz.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
because
I was thinking about that too.
He's part of the government now with Trump. So and as we mentioned on my stream, Trump, there's a huge number with the 93 here. I'm going to share my screen, I guess. I don't have anything built on the 93, but I do want to share some, like I said, I haven't put all this together yet, but I'm just going to touch on a few of the subjects that I find interesting here.
Absolutely. You have the floor, my friend.
And with the 122s you just mentioned, that goes back to San Francisco, as you mentioned, with the Church of Satan. And I just talked about, what's crazy about this is I was doing a live stream when this broke, and I was talking about the number 262 and San Francisco. Well, actually, at the very time the news broke, I was talking about that. And what's crazy about that is, well, the Church of Satan if you spell it right, equals 262. And I literally, like I said, my whole stream at the breaking of the news was about the number 262 and how it was connected to the death of Malcolm, who just happens to be connected to the cryptocurrency XRP, and Ripple, the currency, is based out of San Francisco. And I was talking about Brock Purdy, the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, who's the pick 262. So this is a number that I knew the Church of Satan equaled 262, but I didn't actually talk about it in the stream. But this whole number, like, again, if you guys go back and watch my stream, you'll see that this was the main theme of my my presentation. Well, the Queen of England, well, and of course Ozzy is English, so I think it's Queen of the United Kingdom. Yeah, Queen of the United Kingdom equals 262. Her funeral was on the 262 day of the year, and she was born 8,262 days before Ozzy.
And notice too, Cody, really quick, if you were to line up the years and you added the end date, you'll notice that it's a span of 227 days, like today's date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
22/7, and obviously that's a big number associated with pi. So shout out to DJ Foods, pun intended, talking about pi. I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's a good point, because he also died 270 days after he bit the head off the bat as well. but yeah, the Queen of England equals Queen of the United Kingdom equals 262. She was buried on 262 day, born 8,262 days before Ozzy, and again, Church of Satan. The Church of Satan equals 262. But what's crazy is here's my slide from my stream. I had showed that from the episode in the Cosby Show where Theo, the guy who just died, he plays Theo. He is the same amount of days between that episode and the founding date of XRP, which again, in the movie Sneakers. I'm not going to go over all this like for you guys, but this guy died when he was in the news of his death. He was 20,062 days old. And again, guys, I posted, just want to keep reiterating, I posted this timeline on Twitter 5 days ago, and then 5 days before he died, and then he ends up dying, and he's just happens to have the same birthday as my first date on my timeline. And so that immediately brought me into this whole thing. And look at the number I was talking about 5 days before he died. I was talking about the 262 and how it was coded in between all of these events with the cryptocurrency Ripple. And again, what happened in San Francisco on the day he died? He was born, or on the day he was born, the Grateful Dead was playing the song Ripple, debuting it in San Francisco.
Wow, same year too, right?
Yeah, the exact same day. Exact same day that he was born, they were debuting this song. And I knew this date, and as soon as I saw the guy died, I didn't even really know much about this guy, to be honest. But as soon as I saw he died or he was born on that day, I was like, oh, come on now. And then I found out he died. He was in the news 20,062 days after that day. I was like, what? So this was like one of the more mind-blowing parts, because I was literally on this before, and then here comes all this. And again, just to reiterate the reasoning that I'm talking about the 262 to begin with, was because the movie called Sneakers features a Federal Reserve hacking of the Federal Reserve, and they see this came out on 9/11/1992, and it features XRP 262. Okay, and this is many years before XRP, the cryptocurrency, was ever created. Well, XRP cryptocurrency equals 262. So again, this goes all the way back to the Church of Satan and the Queen of England, like I said, who I just talked about. The Church of Satan equals 262. Well, 2 days later, now we get Ozzy dying. And and how this connects, as I mentioned before, how does this connect to the Cosby Show? Well, the Cosby Show ended on the Church of Satan founding date. So it just seems perfectly placed that now we'd get this death. And so let me show you how this connects with the Church of Satan and Ozzy real fast. It's not the 262 I'm going to be talking about, but interestingly enough, the number I'm showing here is the 232. So kind of something with this 232, 262. I don't know, there might be something with that, but so Ozzy. So a number I always associate with Satan was the 232, because in the very important Latin cipher, Satan equals 232. So as soon as I noticed he died a span of 232 days after his birthday, and what makes that even more crazy is in the satanic gematria, Ozzy equals 232, and again and Satan equals 232 in the Latin. So he dies 232 days after his birthday. And then someone on Twitter, shout out to them, I can't remember his name. I can't even pronounce the guy's name. He has a long name, but he mentioned that he died also 2 months, 3 weeks, 2 days after the Church of Satan was founded, which again would be the same date of the end date of the Cosby Show. So there's that. And then I was thinking about Crazy Train. Oh, no, sorry. I was thinking about War Pigs and the WWE. And if you guys have, Derek from Gematria, I was on live with him earlier. He'd done a whole decode on the WWE and Vince McMahon, who has been called Satan before, the founder of the WWE, Vince McMahon. And he did a whole presentation a few months ago on the number 232 and Vince McMahon in the WWE. So this ties the WWE in with the number 232. I don't have the presentation from Derek up, but you guys can go search that on his blog. Here's his blog right here. He also did a post already on the church, on Ozzy Osbourne. But in his blog, you can find a whole presentation on Vince McMahon, the WWE, and 232. Well, the WWE had to be one of the first people to post about this because WWE has Ozzy Osbourne in the Hall of Fame, their Hall of Fame, as well as Donald Trump. So the WWE, all these big stars, a lot of them are members of the WWE Hall of Fame. So they posted about this. And they use for their show War Games. If you search WWE War Games, then you'll find that they use his song, the Ozzy Osbourne War Pigs, for this show. Almost every year they use that song for their show. And so I went from the release of War Pigs, the song by Black Sabbath, which is interestingly enough released on September 18th, 1970. Well, this is exactly 1 month after the date I centered my whole decode around in my stream where this broke. 8/18/1970, the Grateful Dead play Ripple, the song, in San Francisco. Well, 1 month later exactly, War Pigs was released on September 18th, 1970. And notice the September 18th is also 1 day before the Queen Elizabeth's funeral, which is on the 262 day of the year. But yeah, this actually has a connection to Christmas for Satanists, Walpurgis Night, which is a German thing. And so this, in the Wikipedia page, it even ties this to this thing to Walpurgis, which ties to Christmas for Satanists.
You should go check it out since you're in Germany.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's something I immediately thought. And then you have, I need to actually look more into this connection. I don't have anything more on it right now, but so yeah, let's get to that other connection. So I already showed you all the 232s with after his birthday and after the Church of Satan. Well, what's the chances that from War Pigs release to his death? This one brought it together for me because this is a longer date duration we're measuring. So now you get the same number. And again, I just said how this is tied to Walpurgis Night, the Christmas for Satanists. And now you get the 20032 days. And what's interesting about that is if you go 30 days in the future, you're going to get 20062 days, which is the number I mentioned was the age that Malcolm died at. So that will be 30 days. Well, let's just look and see when that will be. That will be 1970. Might be something maybe later in the future that would connect to that. So that would be, oh, now I already see something. So 262 after the release of War Pigs would actually fall on 8/22. And going back to the San Francisco connection where the Church of Satan was founded, this actually, and connecting this to the WWE, which I just connected, this is actually the birthday of the two twins in the WWE known as the Uso twins. And this is a date I'm watching for. Actually, a huge date I'm watching for because of a couple things. But August 22nd will be 20062 days after the release of War Pigs. and it ties in with the WWE perfectly. And again, they used the song War Pigs in their promos for their show. And then one last thing before I hand it off here, connecting back to the Queen of England connection. Well, now we got to connect King Charles real fast. I want to use the bit more unfamiliar cipher. The Church. I told you guys how the Church of Satan equals 262 in reverse gematria. Well, it also equals 2620 in squares. Well, in squares, the word satanic equals 1049. Well, interestingly enough, if you go from the Queen's death, which would be the same day that King Charles became king, that was on September 8th, to the death of Ozzy. Just get it up here. It would be a span of 1049 days. So 1049 days into King Charles' reign is when Ozzy dies, and that is the gematria of satanic in the square cipher. And this square cipher I've used before and shown how clearly relevant it is. I had a huge connection with this and Cody Rhodes a few months back, who connects to King Charles as well. But yes, in King Charles to the day, 1049 days. And then don't forget, Ozzy Osbourne was born in the same year King Charles, and just days after. I don't even know how many days. King Charles was born on the 14th of November, so that's 14. That's 16 days, and then 3, so 19 days. 19 days apart, they're born. And then also that year, you had 1948. You had the birth of Israel as well. So, and then just to quickly mention, there's a pi riddle here. Me and Derek touched on it a bit in the stream, but pi today is 22.7. 22 divided by 7 is approximation of pi. Ozzy Osbourne has 2 circles as his initials, which could represent the eclipses. An eclipse to the moon and the sun coming together. Derek did a bit of touching on this in his post, just to show real fast. The eclipse code. The initials are the OO, which is the 1515. And yeah, he died 15 months, 15 days after the Great American Eclipse. And then if you guys want to check out Derek's post about this, he touches on, here it is, from he died 270 weeks exactly after he bit the head off the bat. Ozzy Osbourne plus his name of his band equals 2207. And we did connect this to Pope Francis in the stream, last live stream I did. It's 93 days after he died. Saturn equals 93. Sometimes Saturn is conflated with Satan. So there's a huge Saturn thing. The 93 also goes back to Thelema, which you talked about, Aleister Crowley. That's his number. So yeah, I think that's it now.
That's fantastic, because the 2 things I'm going to add in really quick before we get Rambo's take is that the OO initials just reminds me of what you and I were talking about, Cody, with the whole just relationship of the O, and Rambo's touch on this too, with the upside down banner with that Illinois player and how, it's a 0, the O, right? But then when you think about tennis, right, 0 equals love. Okay, so there's that whole thing. The OO, we are also talking about Ohio, right? And how like the whole I symbolism there. I mean, I look at the 2 O's, they kind of look like 2 I's to me. And then lastly, just thinking about everything that Rambo was touching on with the water themes, Ozzy, Oz, born. So the whole born, birth connections, right? That's all I really wanted to add. But yeah, Rambo, what are your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, great presentation. Also, your presentation as well. Like I said, this hit me out of left field. Honestly, I didn't even know this would happen. I was busy doing my decodes and resting. and preparing for the show, and then just when I got on, you told me Ozzy Osbourne had died. We had mentioned him in context of the floods, and the floods happened near San Antonio. And I know when someone dies, I think the rule is, I guess you're not supposed to speak ill of them, but it was something I was surprised you guys hadn't heard of the incident. But it is noteworthy because it tells you about the lives of these celebrities, which I think the public really needs to kind of get a grip on the lives of celebrity. It affects the whole world, like who's controlling them, or are they making? You see the devil imagery. So is it just? Thank you, Linda. Is it? I don't know if this is a New York City term or just in general the term shtick. Shtick is just like when you're not serious about something. You're playing a role, but it's not serious. It's just it's just a role. It's kind of understood. So it's all that devil imagery. Is it just shtick, or again, it comes from Yiddish, or is there some authenticity? I believe there is exactly. So Sally Whitty, he peed on the Alamo, which again I know he just passed away. This is not typically not the thing you should be highlighting in his life, but it is noteworthy because we need to analyze the lives of these celebrities and in context of the imagery that he put out. I mean, you guys both have illustrated undeniably the connection to Satanism. Like, so is it just a role he's playing? Some people say that. Oh, come on, it's like Halloween. I mean, Halloween actually is a very important occasion every year for, I guess, for lack of a better term, Satanists or people who are inclined that way, some dark secret society members. It's not just fun and games, and I've actually seen that in real life in recent years. I've seen, especially on the Halloween thing, how seriously they take it. I mean, I told you about this stuff. I'm a targeted individual. Let's put it plainly: gang stalking, energy weapons, and they do use year round this kind of imagery. Skulls and skeletons. They even had once. It's a personal anecdote. They had a skeleton dressed like me. They actually dressed up a skeleton, looks like me.
What?
No, that's the type of thing I face.
Like a skeleton with dreads?
Well, just the way I was dressed that day.
Oh, okay.
And I had a whatever, just all the details of the way I was dressed. And I was doing the food delivery. And of course, when I show up at one place, and they're in everything. If you think you have privacy, no, you don't. They're in everybody's phone. There's no firewall. There's nothing you can do. They're in everything. That means everything. They can. And anyway, yeah, they had a skeleton dressed like I was, like it's just me as a skeleton. Like, and I, right, and I got in general, I got the understand. Again, it was not Halloween. It's not Halloween. It was actually late summer. I realized that how seriously they take this sort of thing, and the imagery is subliminal, and it does work on your subconscious. So typically, the type of people who condemn Halloween and are considered, why don't you lighten up, or is Christians. So Christians say, don't celebrate Halloween. It's like, oh, come on, lighten up. It's just fun. Like, I have to say that, yes, I've come to realize this. If anyone has it right, it's Christians. It is not. No, it is not. It is not just lighthearted. It is authentic, and it's a way of subliminally, I guess, in a way, either influencing the public or maybe, in their twisted way of thinking, initiating the public. That is not taken lightly. So Ozzy Osbourne. So one of the big things that secret societies do in general is MK Ultra trauma-based mind control. All secret societies do it. Fritz Springmeier wrote the biggest. He broke open the MK Ultra to the public with his book, The Illuminati Formula, and he lists all the different secret societies that do it, including the Church of Satan. I just happen to live. Be honest, I live in the town where the Church of Satan has its headquarters right now. In fact, that's actually where. They're everywhere. In fact, if you go to the Church of Satan's website, one of their mottos is "We are Legion." So it really doesn't matter that you live in the same town as them. They're Legion. Where do they get? They get that from the Bible, where there was a possessed man and Jesus cast the demons out of the dead man. But before he cast him out, Jesus asked him, "What's your name?" Talking to the demon, not the man himself, the demon that was possessing him, speaking through him. And the possessed man said, and this is the demon talking through the man, said, I am Legion. And the reason I call myself Legion is because we are many. And then Jesus casts the demon into a swarm of pigs, and the pigs run off the edge of a cliff and commit suicide. So that's their motto. We are Legion. It's on their website. So they're everywhere. But I happen to live right in the shadow of the church, and they've sent me direct messages from them, coded stuff I learned from Fritz Springmeier. I would not have understood the coding had I not read Fritz Springmeier. So Fritz Springmeier, that is the Illuminati formula. So Ozzy Osbourne is an example of MK Ultra mind control, trauma-based mind control, which a lot of celebrities are, and they put the imagery into their music. That's why it's important to talk about Ozzy Osbourne urinating on the Alamo, because not only was he urinating on the Alamo, he was wearing a dress when he urinated on the Alamo. Why that's important is to illustrate that he was under MK Ultra mind control. Now, if you understand that, you can forgive him for it, but that's not the context on which people are forgiving him. This is just the power of celebrity. They'll let the celebrities do anything. So that's the basis on which they're forgiving. No, the basis on which you should forgive him for doing that is he's been subjected to MK Ultra trauma-based mind control. And even if you look at his life history, even on Wikipedia, which is far from the type of platform that does quote unquote conspiracy, talks about MK Ultra. In Wikipedia, he goes even that talks about, and Ozzy has talked about his life growing up, where he was subjected to extreme trauma, and as a child he was violated. And this is the basis of MK Ultra. It's trauma-based mind control. When you're traumatized, you dissociate, and when you dissociate, essentially it's like leaving the fort unguarded, your body. Then you can have alter egos programmed into you, but you have to dissociate first, and trauma is what causes the dissociation. When you're in a dissociative state, alter egos can be programmed into you, but also demons can possess you as well when you're in a dissociative state. This is what these secret societies do. And I think it was done to him, and he's talked openly, it's even on his Wikipedia page, of some of the trauma violation that he faced as a child. And I think you have to understand that when you look at things like him peeing. In fact, the dress he's wearing is his wife's dress. So when he does that famous song Crazy Train, one clue about MK Ultra programming that they put in celebrities, the celebrity culture, entertainment, quote unquote, is the title Crazy, especially in music. If a song is titled Crazy, more than likely it is a coded song about MK Ultra mind control. Crazy Train, that's the way of, they actually mock him by making him write that song. Crazy Train is about MK Ultra. Anything with crazy in the title is about MK Ultra mind control. And what they do with secret societies and MK Ultra type programs is they will assign a spouse, girlfriend, or boyfriend as a handler to the MK Ultra, they call it a monarch, MK Ultra programmed victim. They need to have a handler 24/7. Thank you, JM2. And what they do is they'll give them a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend. For Ozzy Osbourne, clearly it was Sharon. Now you can develop genuine feelings for each other. They did seem to have genuine feelings for each other, but she's still assigned to him as a handler. And very often the handlers themselves are MK Ultra. It's a big it's like the Babylon system. That's Bob Marley gave that title. That's how the MK Ultra system. So they have the spouse handler, wife handler. There's some other examples. Yoko Ono, most likely an MK Ultra handler of John Lennon. I think Jim Morrison, he had a girlfriend named Pam, most likely a handler. Elvis Presley, Priscilla Presley, was more than likely his MK Ultra handler. In fact, he did the Elvis Presley did the song, "You look like an angel, you walk like an angel, you talk like an angel, but you're the devil in disguise." Many people believe that that was actually a reference to Priscilla Presley. Will Smith, spouse handler, more than likely is Jada Pinkett. You can see she's a sociopath. She doesn't care about him. She's pretty open about. She's bragged and humiliated him in public about having relations with other men other than Will Smith, and how they were so much better at satisfying her than, and she does that openly in front of him to humiliate him. She's a sociopath. That's a typical spouse handler. And I guess another example would be Roseanne Arnold. She's been open about her MK Ultra. She's actually the biggest celebrity MK Ultra whistleblower. She's even on Larry King on CNN talking about MK Ultra. So that's one of the biggest examples of MK Ultra being brought out to the mainstream. It's on Larry King. Roseanne Arnold talked about that and how she was subjected to MK Ultra. So who was her spouse handler? It was Tom Arnold. So that's the situation that Ozzy Osbourne was in. In fact, when he peed on the Alamo, he was wearing Sharon's dress. That dress he wore belonged to Sharon. So you know who's behind that, unfortunately. But I think we have to put that in context. All the Satan worship, I don't know how culpable he is, because he was violated at a very young age. He was picked for it at a very young age. You can just look at, I guess, his history on his Wikipedia page. He actually does talk about he was very seriously violated as a child.
Rambo, I have another great example, if you wouldn't mind me sharing to add on to this, because I think this is very fitting. You were talking about how crazy, anytime there's crazy associated really in any entertainment, but we're talking about music right now, at least with Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train, and MK Ultra. I doubt you remember this group, Rambo, but you might remember the song, and there might be some people in the chat that are seeing where I'm going with this. But there was a very popular song when I was growing up.
Yeah, I do know this group.
Yeah, Crazy Town.
Yeah.
They were like a one-hit wonder. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't name any other song. I don't think most people could. But look at that. Crazy Town, Butterfly.
Exactly.
Crazy and Butterfly. It's right there.
And what is
Right
the butterfly?
there.
It's the Monarch butterfly.
Yes.
It's the Monarch program.
Yes.
The MK Ultra Monarch. So yes, great example of how crazy. Yes, it is an illusion. There's also the hair, the bleached hair.
Oh yeah, the bleached hair too. Yes.
So Adam, I don't know if he's still watching, but Adam the Illusion, he's done a lot on soccer players, international soccer players who have bleached hair.
Yeah.
Who have bleached hair, and bleached hair is it's an MK Ultra symbol. So yeah, Adam the Illusion, he's done a lot of that on soccer players, and it is a even black players. As ridiculous as that looks. Remember, Dennis Rodman had the bleached hair. On ESPN, they were calling him the blonde bomber, and Dennis Rodman, clearly he has issues, and it's not just, these things are done to them, and this is something that, I don't know, it just goes on. I mean, there's no justice. It starts as children. He also wore number 10 with I don't know, we're kind of on the main subject, but Dennis Rodman, the first number that he wore was number 10. That was with the Detroit Pistons. And 10 is very related to Satan, because Satan's 55. Yeah, so Satan's 55, and 55, I think it's like the 10th. Is it the triangular number, or the two? The 10 comes up in relation to 55, which I believe Satan's 55. And so Satan, you can remove vowels from words. So another, I think Marilyn Manson, who's a popular member of the Church of Satan, Marilyn Manson, I think he had a song where he says, say 10. He even tells a crowd in live performances, say 10. Say, S-A-Y, 10, T-E-N. 10 is a hidden, say 10. There you go. And he's the highest profile, I guess, celebrity member of the Church of Satan. There have been others, but Marilyn Manson is the highest profile. So so that's a perfect example of how 10 actually is a hidden code for Satanism. And Dennis Rodman, and again, it's what they do. And all secret societies do this. Governments do this. They do this. Yeah, there's just look at the properties of 55. Just a reduction here. You click on yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So it's 10th Fibonacci and 10th triangular. So that is how 10 is a hidden.
Right. So the Fibonacci sequence is a little difficult to explain, but for those that are interested in triangular numbers, all that means is you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 all the way up to 10, you're going to get 55. That's what it means.
And of course, 666 is a triangular number as well. But
yeah,
so that's how 10 is a hidden satanic number, and the bleached hair is a symbol of a MK Ultra monarch, unfortunately. And this goes on with impunity, and they're still doing it. And I guess they're cracking down on quote unquote conspiracy channels, but I mean, I'd like to think some of it had an impact, but it's continuing, and a lot of these celebrities are picked as at young ages. Now, someone like Ozzy Osbourne is open about the violation that he was subjected to in younger days, but it happens to all of them. Not all of them will. No, I won't say it happens to all of them, but to a lot of them, maybe most of them. But it's not put out as an official part of their bio like it is with Ozzy Osbourne. Another one is Russell Brand. That was done to him as a child, and even that's on his, I don't know if it's still there, it was on his Wikipedia page. He's open about what he was subjected to as a child, violated. This is what celebrities are subjected to. So yes, he's into some satanic stuff, and he's peeing on the Alamo. He's wearing a dress. You know whose dress that was, so you know who's behind it. And she's taking orders too, because she's most likely a monarch herself. Yeah, so that's an unfortunate part of his bio, but it's an opportunity to address the situation the world is in and celebrities are in. It's not just celebrities. There are quote unquote everyday people who are subjected to this. And this is
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, so it's not just celebrities as well. I mean, it is like they say, we are legion. And so yeah, this is like, I guess that's what we do in this truth community. We are addressing the state of the world, and it's so Halloween and all that devil imagery. It's not lighthearted. And yeah, this is unfortunately an opportunity to address that. Hopefully, I don't, I believe a soul continues.
I mean, just to further keep building on this, I mean, this is also latest in the news. Just a couple days ago, Katy Perry falling from a prop during one of her concerts. She falls from a butterfly, and she has butterflies all over the place in a lot of the stuff that she does. I don't have anything else to share, at least from a coding perspective. But since we're talking about butterflies, of course, Katy Perry's fallen off of a butterfly. And don't forget about even just our last stream, right, you guys? We were talking about the when we were jumping on with Anya Saru, the spiritual shade room. We were talking about the stabbing death of the McDonald's manager. And the culprit did a video with butterflies on her cheeks, and she had that red hair, right? So it wasn't bleached hair, but it was still
dyed
very
hair,
vibrant hair. Yeah, but this
is part of the code. The code is not just gematria. It's not just numbers. It's this.
Right. It's right. Exactly.
Remember what I said? A picture can express 1,000 words.
Yep.
A symbol expresses 1,000 pictures. Well, this butterfly symbol, think of how much this expresses. This is a symbol. It's not just about numbers. So yeah, it is a code. You're saying you don't have much. I don't know. You've offered great examples with these butterfly examples. Absolutely. The butterfly is very insidious. So one of the places they get the butterfly symbol from is if you look up the sphenoid bone. It's in the skull, because the skull is the mind, the brain. The mind is actually in every cell of the body. But
when you sphenoid, I want to try to pull it.
Sphenoid bone. SPHEN. OID. Yeah. Bone. It's in the skull, and you'll see it's shaped like a butterfly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And Cody, I see your request to share screen. We're going to pass it off to you in a second to close this out. But so the sphenoid bone. This is in our skull.
This is in the skull. You can see skull just to see like a broader. If you just see this, you can't tell it's in the skull. Just maybe show an image where you can see that it's in a skull, so you can appreciate that it's has to do with psychology, or just you can just look it up. Maybe there'll be an explanation. It's put skull. Yeah, so yeah, there's a picture of the skull. Yeah.
Sorry, hold on a second. It's so annoying when I like click to open up an image. I have to like reshare.
I mean, you get the idea. But so another thing, one last thing I want to say is think of Muhammad Ali. What's his famous line? Float like
a butterfly, sting like a bee, baby.
Now, in retrospect, what is he admitting to? The float like a butterfly. That's part of his signature.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, you don't get to his level greatness. You don't get there on the charisma, talent, hard work, and luck alone. Unfortunately, so that in retrospect, that is very likely a clue as to where he was. Also, thank you, Mojave, Pocahontas. Thank you.
Hey, Cody. I see you've requested to share your screen. It looks like you were working on a couple things, but we are closing in on about that 10-minute mark of an hour and a half. I think we've covered a lot of ground. Coffee Girl says, great connections, Rambo. Thank you so much for adding on to that and allowing for me to throw in my own examples as well. But yeah, Cody, what do you got for us?
Well, yeah, I got a few things. I had made this slide a while back now, but I just wanted to point this out. I mean, we all know MAGA is the highest degree of the Church of Satan. But Trump, you know, he's born exactly 7260 days after or before the Church of Satan was founded. And that's just perfect because 7260 is the 120th triangular number, which is a number hugely associated with the Church of Satan. And Bacon, simple, Anton LaVey, the founder, equals 120. He founded Satanism on the 120th day of the year. Satanism equals 120. Trump born. I mean, this is about as perfect as it gets. The guy who walks around, you know, pushing MAGA, and he just happens to be the perfect. I mean, the number 120 hugely connect. Obviously, it's the 120 day of the year. The guy's name equals 120. Satanism 120. President Donald J. Trump also equals 120. 666 equals 120. But yeah, born exactly 120 triangular. And another reason I brought this up is the triangular thing is huge in this, I think. Obviously, because a lot of times you see triangles, you see the, you know, I think I even had, there was another triangular. Oh, Anton LaVey from the Church of Satan to Trump's first inauguration was also the 192nd triangular amount of days. So another triangular number. But yeah, I had that. And then I was looking a little bit more into Walpurgis because, again, I told you that Walpurgis night was. So when is Walpurgis night? And come to find out, look when it is. April 30th, the same day as the Church of Satan.
Jeez, in the same date, like you pointed out earlier, Cody, it was the first episode of The Cosby Show, right? Debuted on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But look at this. So considering what you just said there, Walpurgis night is on the last episode of The Cosby Show. Look what it equals. Well, actually, hold on. Before we get to that, since I already have this up, Ozzy Osbourne equals Monarch Butterfly. So that's interesting.
Nice.
201.
Nice. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe, you guys. Seriously, I mean, this is mind-blowing work.
162.54. So look at this. The Cosby Show equals Saint Walpurga, which is what that is named after.
Oh, man. Oh,
so
man.
This is clearly connected to Saint Walpurga and the Church of Satan, right? Because again, Ozzy Osbourne, they literally tell you in the song Crazy or War Pigs. And Rambo mentioned, you know, in the Bible, the story goes that Jesus cast them into the pigs. So there you go. You got the Satan in the pigs, and then they did a song called War Pigs, and then that leads us to Walpurga, which leads us right back to the Church of Satan and right back to the Cosby Show. And the Cosby Show just happens to equal Saint Walpurga. So that I think that brings it all together. And you know, wait, so also Saint Walpurga equals 162, and the Cosby Show equals 162, and Ozzy Osbourne died today, leaving 162 days in the year. Okay, so there's that too. Yeah, 162 days in the year, and then yeah.
Jeez Louise. Huh. Oh my goodness.
Can I say something real quick? So the sport of football, soccer, the most popular sport in the world, on October 26th this year, it will turn 162 years old. The official, I mean, it existed before, but as it exists now, the sport of soccer turns 162 years on October 26th, 2025.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Okay, so that's on the Back to the Future day, the day they travel. The first day they travel is October 26th. That's also the birthday of CM Punk, the wrestler.
Who's that again?
The Back to the Future day, the first day they time travel is October 26th.
No, the name of the wrestler. Sorry, I missed the name of the wrestler.
Oh, CM Punk.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be fighting for the championship in a few days against Gunther, the guy who held the Intercontinental Championship for 666 days. And he's
would you mind pulling that up, Cody, just so we can see it?
Which
really
one?
Quick? Or what you're talking about, CM Punk?
Oh yeah.
I want to take note of that as well.
The reason this is important, I think, is because again he has the 10/26 birthday, which again is the day they time travel in the Back to the Future. And I've already done a bunch of decodes connecting Chicago, Illinois, and the new Pope to Back to the Future. And of course, where is CM Punk from? Chicago, Illinois. And I believe, where is Anton LaVey from?
Chicago.
Yep. And I didn't even touch, in this video on how this connects to the new Pope, but of course it does. And Chicago, Illinois is where Anton LaVey is from, but he died in San Francisco. So you got obviously the San Francisco connection there too. But yeah, CM Punk, he has there's a lot of stuff I could say about him, but the 10/26 day, I have a decode possibly eventually coming out with him and connecting it to Back to the Future, considering he's born on that same day. And again, this whole thing started with me because of Back to the Future, really, because my whole decode on the 262, I was looking into the Super Bowl because of Back to the Future 3. Remember, a few weeks ago, we started talking about Back to the Future 3. The train goes off the rails. That's what I wanted to mention too. The train goes off the rails in Back to the Future 3. And that bridge looks like the Golden Gate Bridge, which is in San Francisco. And now Ozzy died, connected to all this. You got the crazy train. And so I think it's all connected, of course, but I'm trying to bring this all back to the Future because the last show Ozzy did was Back to the Beginning. So there's that as well. So we could continue. We could really just stay on the Back to the Future theme with all these stories and probably not get off of it. But of course, we took a bit of a detour talking about Satanism and stuff. But
I'm wondering, could you go over those 162s again?
Yeah. It was 162 was the gematria of the Cosby Show, and we just had the actor from that died, and then the other 162 was. Oh, Walpurga, Saint Walpurga equals 162, and Ozzy Osbourne died, and Saint Walpurga is venerated on Saint Walpurga's night, which is the Church of Satan's founding day, which would be April 30th. But again, Ozzy Osbourne died with the day leaving 162 days in the year, and his song "Crazy" or "War Pigs" directly references Walpurga's night. Oh, and Joseph in the chat is also talking. This also connects to the Golden Gate Bridge again. 135 days before his birthday, he died, Ozzy, and Crazy Train equals 135 in both forward and backwards. And the Golden Gate Bridge equals 135. So,
yeah. Also, your King Charles connections are interesting as well because Ozzy Osbourne is from Birmingham. Birmingham is the second biggest city in England. That's Ozzy Osbourne's hometown. And 2 years ago, Birmingham hosted the Commonwealth Games. The Commonwealth Games are basically an Olympics for former British colonies, with the exception of one, the United States. Canada, everybody, Australia, all the former African Asian colonies, they're called the Commonwealth. And they host, it's supposed to be every 4 years, but they're trying to scale it down now. But it was hosted by Birmingham, which is Ozzy Osbourne's hometown. And that was the first major event that Queen Elizabeth missed. That was one of the major indications that, she was kind of on her way out, because that was an event. This is the Commonwealth. She's the head of the Commonwealth. They're celebrating the British Empire, and they're trying to say it's over. It's not over. But she wasn't there. She's supposed to open the Commonwealth Games, but instead it was, at the time, Prince Charles. That was the first kind of handing the torch over to Charles. So he showed up in a custom Aston Martin. An Aston Martin it's made in Birmingham, the car, luxury car. The reason it's called Aston Martin is because the neighborhood in Birmingham where the car was manufactured is Aston. And Aston is Ozzy Osbourne's hometown, so home neighborhood. So he's not just from Birmingham, he's from Aston specifically. That's the home of Aston Martin. And that's the car that King Charles rolled up on to open the Commonwealth Games, which was very significant, because they also had a mechanical bull at that opening ceremony. I've never seen American media ever pay any attention to the Commonwealth Games at all. I mean, like zero interest in the Commonwealth Games. What was really unusual, like 2 years ago, is how much attention the Commonwealth Games got in the United States. Unprecedented. And I think it was because they're basically told to. I mean, it's the people who run the show, across the world. And they had a bull there, a mechanical bull, which a lot of people felt was a reference to Moloch. But anyway, so he did, and Moloch is a sacrifice symbol. So he showed up in an Aston, which I think, and he also claims, I mean, these people make these claims, maybe he is or not. I think King Charles claims to be a fan. King Charles claims that his favorite, I guess, soccer team is Aston Villa, which is from that neighborhood. So I think this 162, which the sport of football, which was invented in England, turning 162, and King Charles, with his connections, and he claims to be an Aston Villa supporter, and he showed up in Aston Martin. And as another thing about the Commonwealth Games, Ozzy was not part of the opening ceremony, and he was never announced as part of the event. But at the closing ceremony, he made a surprise performance. At the closing ceremony, he just showed up to surprise everybody, unannounced. So 162 is I feel it's going to be significant, especially in the world of football, and with, I guess, King Charles as well. So yeah,
I'm just going to throw in that 162 is a big baseball number as well. There are 162 games in a regular MLB season, and Major League Baseball equals 162. I'm pretty sure baseball equals 162 as well. So just in light of everything that you guys have been touching on, I just want to say there might be something there as well, in line with, either this MLB season or next MLB season. So I just want to make note of that as well.
I just think October 26th this year will be a big something. In some way, it'll be very significant. Plus, look at the October 26th. That's 126. It's it's anagram. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting in sports and in general. It's 160. Yeah, 160. Yeah.
Rambo, you started talking about King Charles. I don't know if you see it there, but he lives in Windsor Castle. That equals 162.
Yep.
Like St. Walpurga and the Cosby Show. So I don't think that's a coincidence. And that's just so you guys know, this is Windsor Castle, the home of the monarch, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Going back to the monarch thing.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's all. I mean, there's so much more we could probably say, but I know we're at the end here. But
yeah, also Kobe Bryant also had on his shoulder, he had a butterfly tattoo, and I think the butterfly had a crown on it too. I think, yeah, Kobe Bryant had that, and also at his memorial, which they had, I think, at the Staples Center, the I guess the program for the event was full of butterflies. The whole butterfly motif all over Kobe Bryant's memorial as well, and he had that tattoo. Yeah.
I was looking to see if Kobe Bryant ever actually bleached his hair. And
Yeah, there's so many different symbols. That's one of many, but he had the butterfly tattoo. I mean, that's
yeah, exactly. The tattoo alone.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need all of it. But well, speaking of bleached, I mean the gold, the Laker gold. It's kind of got that bleach theme there. But yeah, we just hit the hour 30-minute mark. I think we've covered a lot of ground tonight, you guys. Mr. S says that Kobe Bryant was Disney programmed. I mean, doesn't Disney own ESPN? So there's a lot to be said about that for sure. But I will start by closing out by just saying thank you, Rambo. Thank you, KODI, so much. I look forward to Tuesday nights so much because there's always so much that's popping in the news, even just from the death of Malcolm Warner to today. I mean, this Aleister Crowley stuff is only a few hours old, really. So, yeah, I just want to thank you guys both so much for always making yourself available every week for us to bounce ideas off of each other, build on each other's findings. It means a lot, and I really just want to extend the thank you to everybody in the chat, all of the followers, all of the subscribers. Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe, you guys. Like KODI said, make sure to hit those likes. It really helps get this content out to more people. And please make sure to, share where you see fit. I know it's not for everybody, but wherever you see fit, there could be just one little thing that maybe we touched on today that can, wake somebody up a little bit more to start thinking more critically. And without further ado, KODI, if you wouldn't mind, giving us a couple final words as we close things out tonight.
Yeah, thanks again to you, AJ, and also Rambo. Amazing stream as always, and look forward to the next one. But yeah, we definitely had a lot to talk about, and I'll probably also be releasing another video later to cover some of this stuff before maybe today. I don't know, but yeah, definitely. We'll see what comes. Today is I know the 723 date is hugely connected with Neptunalia and Sirius. So I'm sure that also ties into the death of Ozzy as well. But I don't want to get into that here. That'll probably open up a whole nother rabbit hole. But definitely something I'm thinking about. I just wanted to mention the Sirius thing because I know tomorrow or today, or for me already, it's 723. So, but yeah, thanks guys for everything, and appreciate it.
Thank you, KODI, as always. Rambo.
Yeah, thank you, KODI and AJ again. It was a great show. I guess absolutely great contributions all around. Time flew. Honestly, all the shows I've done, this one went the fastest. Honestly, it felt like 45 minutes or something. I doesn't feel like an hour and a half. This one was the fastest. But that was great. So I appreciate it, and thank you, AJ, for putting this together. And again, we'll say it every week. Just thanks. Again, it's a good chemistry here, and yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to happen from week to week, right? But maybe we can expand on this because we could have done 2 more hours on this. But again, I appreciate it once again, and appreciate the audience and the contribution.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I'm going to close by saying one more thing. Thank you, Mr. The Big Three, AJ, Rambo, and KODI. Really appreciate the love and support, everybody. I want to give everybody a heads up that you guys can find me and Rambo tomorrow night on the Occult Rejects YouTube channel, spelt out exactly as it sounds, as long as you guys are good with spelling. Rambo, I'm working on getting that live stream link to you, but I'll send it to you as soon as possible. But it will be at 8 p.m. Central, which means it'll be at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. So keep an eye out for it. I am going to be able to connect, my YouTube channel to his when we do go live together. But it's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. The Occult Rejects. I was fortunate enough to, be a guest on his channel. His name is Nick. A few months ago at this point, and had a blast. And I can't wait to see Rambo turn some heads tomorrow. Just with some of the stuff that you guys know all about Rambo. So
yeah, I'll be talking about Back to the Future primarily. Yeah.
That's perfect. So I appreciate it. And thank you, Pale Horse Rider. As always, you guys are the best. Seriously. I just have a blast looking in the chat and seeing what you guys continue to contribute as we build upon each other's findings. So without further ado, we're going to close it out. Thank you. Love always. Lean into love, everybody. And we will be seeing you guys again very, very soon. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, peace.
See
Take
ya.
care. Good night.